Well, hello and welcome to another hardcore Nuzlocke challenge. Today I want to attempt a run of BEEDRILL only in FireRed. Now, back in the Dragonite run, this was requested by Jaryant. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And when I originally saw this comment, I was like, nope, hell no, we're not doing this. There's no way. I've beaten this game with BEEDRILL before, and BEEDRILL is a very frail Pokemon. I was level 100. But in those days, to be fair, I didn't know what effort values were. I didn't know what individual values were. I didn't even really know what hidden power was. So I started to think to myself, and I said, Precious, because I call myself Precious when I'm talking to myself, is this run actually possible? With the right effort values added, with the right IVs, and with the right hidden power, is this run possible? And on paper, the answer is yes. This is a doable run. By level up moves, we don't get much. Twin Needle is about the only level up move that we're going to get. As far as TMs go, we're going to be able to evolve our strategy, but the major ones I'm looking at are Brick Break, Aerial Ace, and then of course Hidden Power. We'll talk more about Hidden Power a little bit later. BEEDRILL is a very frail Pokemon. We have a decent attack, but even that's not great. So we're going to need to do a little bit of investment looking at our upcoming challenges. As a matter of fact, the rival battle that we're about to do in Professor Oak's lab is actually a 50-50 shot that we win. We need Charmander to do one growl. I don't know if it's going to happen. We're not going to beat this in our very first attempt. Looking forward, Brock is going to be a challenge. Obviously, we have nothing super effective against him. We have nothing that's not resisted. The only moves that we learn up by level up is Poison Sting, because I am going to start with a Weedle. I need Harden that we get when we evolve into Kakuna. There's no other way to beat Brock. And then we get Fury Attack. So we need a little bit of strategy for Brock, but he is beatable. Our rival is going to be increasingly difficult as we go from Cerulean all the way to the rival battle before the Elite Four. Misty shouldn't be too hard. Surge should be fairly easy. By the time we get to Erica, we are going to have super effective moves with Aerial Ace and Twin Needle. Koga is going to be a pain, just annoying, and Sabrina, if we outspeed her psychic types, then we win. Blaine is where things are going to be even more challenging, but I do have a potential strategy that we will talk about later. And after that, Giovanni, we are weak to poison or ground because of our poison type, but we resist it because of our bug type. So as long as we don't get hit with Scary Face or Rock Tomb, we should win. This is doable, but again, this is, well, a challenge. We once again named our rival Algo, right, for algorithm, because the algorithm is what we are trying to beat both in-game and in real life. If you guys want to participate in beating the algorithm in real life, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. About 60 of you are returning viewers, and half of you that are returning aren't subscribed to the channel. It doesn't take any time at all, and it would help out so much. There are so many channels out there doing goofy crap day in, day out, making bucks off of this, and we're just trying to put in some Pokemon to work. Give us a help, give us a like, please. Let's bump this channel all the way to the top. Now, our first battle here with Algorithm doesn't go so well. You can see that Charmander is out damaging us, and if it continues to use Scratch, it's going to beat us. Of course, we don't get a single poison. Half health, we're down to 3 health. We get off a final Poison Sting, a crit would probably win, but we actually wipe to the rival. Attempt number 2. I can't believe it already, and here we are doing the same old battle. This is a tutorial battle, and technically this doesn't matter because we don't get Pokeballs, but I'm counting it. We hit Charmander with a Poison Sting. It retaliates with a Scratch after some talking. We use Poison Sting again. Charmander this time goes for Growl, which is really nice. We go for Poison Sting again. We get hit with a Scratch. We have now outdamaged this thing with a Poison Sting. He hits us with Scratch down to 8 HP, and we get a critical hit on the next Poison Sting, winning us the attempt. We are now on attempt 2. This is not looking great. So breaking down the Brock battle. We don't have a good move. We have Poison Sting, and by the time we get to Brock, we're going to have Fury Attack. Neither one of those moves do great against his rock types. Geodude doesn't have a super effective move into us, which is good, but his Onix does in Rock Tomb. Now, surprisingly, when we go battle Brock, he doesn't use Rock Tomb over and over again. He's just trying to lower our speed so the Onix is faster, and then he picks a move at random. Great AI. There is a plan. I do actually have a plan. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some EV training, which we'll talk a little bit more here in just a moment. After the EV training, we are going to go battle Brock. Now, some of you have probably figured it out already, but we are going to use a tried and true method to beat Brock. When we don't have a non-resisted move, I typically like to go with Struggle. Struggle is a great idea here, but we are going to need to use some hardens. So the plan is to lose all of the power points except for 6 hardens, go in, set up the hardens, and try to battle Brock. If that doesn't work, maybe we'll reduce our hardens down to 3 and try that again. If not, we'll go back and do a little bit more EV training and get ourselves up closer to level 15, because at level 15 we learn Focus Energy. The first strategy that I have with Struggle, we don't want to level up after the Geodude because we will learn Focus Energy. What we want to do is stay below level 15 and try to beat this thing. We can get about 160 EVs if we do that. 150 EVs. If we edge ourselves closer to level 15, we can get 10 more effort values. I don't know what that does in terms of attack, but I have 3 different strategies going forward. We're going to try them all if we wipe and see which one is the better strategy and see if we can't beat Brock. So over on Route 22, we can battle level 2 Mankeys. These Mankeys give us 21 experience points and 1 attack EV. If we break down the experience that we have to get to level 14 and keep ourselves 221 experience away from level 15, because the Geodude gives 220 experience, we can gain a total of 150 EVs. That'll put us just outside of the range. We also have to keep in mind there's a mandatory battle before we get to Pewter. So we're going to do some effort value training here, get our Pokemon leveled up, and hope we beat Brock. This trainer right here is Bugcatcher Sammy. He's got a level 9 Weedle that gives us 99 experience. I have gone and gotten all of the effort values that I think I can gain, and after this battle I should be sitting at 221 experience to level 15. Geodude will give me 220 experience, and that will put me just below the level cap. I can go get 10 more EVs if I wanted to edge myself closer to level 15 without going over the level. I did a bunch of math and a bunch of research into these runs. I don't know what 10 more effort values is going to do. Gaining another level will give us a little bit of a stat boost, but I think honestly Struggle is going to be the best option. It was my first idea. We'll see how it all plans out. I just want to show real quick that here, after that battle is complete, we have 221 experience to the next level, and now we are ready to go take on Brock and see if we can win. I'm very nervous about these battles. I have a feeling that we're going to wipe, and we have to do this whole starting section again. Not only did we do EV training, but we did re-roll the Pokemon until we got one with an adamant nature, good IVs, the right hidden power. Ugh. So here is my first attempt at Brock. We are actually on attempt 2, and we are going in with Struggle strats. Things that we can't predict are things like Geodude using defense curl versus tackle. How many times is it going to use defense curl? How many times is it going to use tackle? We also can't predict how many times tackle misses, because we actually get a tackle miss on the second round of the fight. We can't predict how many times Onyx will use rock throw. We can't predict how many times it will miss. We can't predict how many times Geodude or Onyx will get a crit, because that'll bypass my hardens. We also can't predict how many times I will get a crit. We need a couple of crits, we need a little bit of RNG luck, and we need our health to stay pretty good. Geodude attacking us for the predominant part of this battle is actually better than it using Defense Curl. It uses Defense Curl after I set up my 6th Harden. We do quite a bit of damage with Struggle. I'm actually surprised to see that. The Defense Curl from Geodude is annoying once again, because we're slowly going to start doing less damage. Recoil damage to us is only 1, and tackle is only doing 3, so we take 4 damage every turn, but the longer this battle drags out, the more damage we lose. Eventually, we do beat out the Geodude after some back and forth, and we are sitting at 20 HP as the Onyx comes out. We use Struggle, and we hit decent into the Onyx. Onyx, of course, does hit us with the Rock Tomb, which is what I was nervous about, but it only does 7 damage with 6 Hardens. It does lower our speed, of course, and there's a bit of a speed tie, and we get hit with a Bind. Interesting. As I said before, this Onyx is just trying to outspeed us. It's not really going for super effective moves. Unfortunately, we are at 7 HP, and between Struggle and even Bind, we get Onyx down to half health, but we can't survive much more. One more bind from Onyx ends attempt 2. So in attempt 3, my strategy is to go with 3 Hardens. The thought process here is that if we set up less Hardens, we'll be able to start attacking sooner and do more damage, and hopefully have the battle not drag out. The only downside to that is 3 Hardens enough to resist the Rock-type move or not? With our defense so high, it didn't matter if Onyx was using Rock Tomb or Tackle or Bind. They were all doing similar damage, and that's what the AI sees. It wants an outspeed, and then after that, it doesn't matter. Here we set up our Hardens. Geodude, of course, is going for Defense Curl every single turn, so that is annoying. Once we start getting off Struggles, Geodude uses Tackle. Tackle does 4 damage to us, and Struggle is doing, I would say, about an 1/8. We do Struggle, Tackle, back and forth. There is a Defense Curl in there as well, but eventually we beat out the Geodude with 26 HP, meaning we have just a shade more going into Onyx. We hit it with Struggle for a decent amount of damage, and it hits us with a Rock Tomb that does 10 damage. So 3 more Hardens helps us with 3 more HP. Onyx once again outspeeds us and starts going for whatever moves it has. We're at 12 HP going for Struggle. We get hit with Bind, slowly whittling us down, but we don't have the defense to outlast. Bind takes us low. Rock Tomb finishes us off, and Onyx still has about a half health. That is attempt 3, done. I forgot to change the ticker on the top, but this is attempt 4. Here we are back at Brock, and this time I'm going to try to just leave my movesets. We're going to set up the 6 Hardens, and then Fury attack the Geodude, get to level 15, learn Focus Energy, and then try to Fury attack the Onyx away, and with the boosted chance to critical hits, maybe our Fury attacks will do some serious damage. Geodude does go for Defense Curl, turn 1 and 2. It finally hits us with a Tackle. I go for a Poison Sting trying to get off a Poison, but at this point, we're just going to go for Fury attacks. I did only set up 3 Hardens in this run because, again, I wanted to just start getting to Geodude off the table here, and a Fury attack also is not a perfectly accurate move, so we do have to worry about some misses, which we have a couple in this run. By the time we get the Geodude taken all the way out, we are sitting at 9 HP going into the Onyx battle. We level up, we learn focus energy, and that brings us up to 12 HP. That's just not enough. The struggle attempt was very close. So I think what we're going to do is go back to the struggle attempts. I don't know. But this is attempt 4 done. Onyx hits us with a Rock Tomb, and then just hits us with another Rock Tomb to take us out. I do try the focus energy strat one more time, because I thought there was potential there. We go for a few hardens, and we start going for fury attacks. Our RNG in the last battle was terrible. We missed a bunch of times. This time, you see, we got a crit and got Geodude knocked out to where we have 24 HP. There's things that we just can't predict. It's all about RNG. We set up a focus energy and start the fury attacks. We get some critical hits, but unfortunately it's just not enough. We have some misses there, and Onyx does take us out. Because of how good attempt 5 went, I decided in attempt 6 we're going to set up a few more hardens this time to 6, and we're going to try this battle again. We're doing pretty good damage with fury attacks. Geodude didn't set up too many defense curls. We get a lucky crit, and at 27 HP, we beat out the Geodude. This is a better run. Onyx is still doing decent damage to us, and Fury Attack is taking the Onyx down. This could work if we had a little bit better RNG. It has been a back and forth with RNG and the Fury Attack strats. Struggle was the best and cleanest, I thought, so I went back to the Struggle strats and got to Onyx with 29 HP. Rock Tomb hits us and lowers our speed. He starts going for Bind and Tackle, and we are so close. If we wouldn't have been outsped there, we would have won. The amount of bad RNG that we had in the previous runs between run 7 and this attempt was just ridiculous. A bunch of crits to knock us out, stuff like that, and we got a huge crit to where we're at 29 HP going into the Onyx. It does outspeed us, but we managed to edge this thing out with 10 HP left over and win on attempt 13. Attempt 13 is the run. You guys don't know that this took a whole Saturday of resetting and rerunning, resetting, rerunning. I'm defeated right now. I need to take a break. Now that we beat Brock, we can go back to Route 22 and max out our attack EVs. That is going to take us to level 19. I know what the experience is and the 5 trainers that I'm going to have to battle to get to Cerulean. With a little bit of experience manipulation, I can get there without going over the level cap. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do any other effort value training other than attack. I do want to hit as hard as humanly possible because some of the battles we have coming up are going to be pretty easy, like Misty, but our rival battle is going to be somewhat difficult. Once the level cap is a little bit higher, we can then go grab some other effort values such as speed and defense, but those are going to have to wait until later. I'm going to go back and get the running shoes and then make my way back to Route 22, get through Mount Moon, and I'll see you guys in Cerulean. These battles with the rival are going to get increasingly difficult, and it's making me increasingly nervous. Pidgeotto is a second form of Pokemon that has a flying type move. Luckily, we get off a 3-turn Fury Attack for over half damage, and Pidgeotto just goes for Sand Attack, which is annoying. We go for Fury Attack again, and if we get a 3-hit, we win without taking any damage, and Vespid, being the absolute animal, takes down the Pidgeotto. Out next is the Charmander that does have Ember, and I'm a little bit nervous, but we fire off a Fury Attack to see how much it's doing, and it's doing decent damage. Once again, Vespid is showing off its absolute animal prowess as it knocks out the Charmander with a 5-turn Fury Attack. And we've gone through 2 major Pokemon completely unscathed. As Abra comes out, we hit it with a Twin Needle to one-shot it, and we're going into the Rattata with full health. Of course, Rattata has to end that with a Quick Attack, doing 8 HP of damage. A Twin Needle takes out the rat, and we win the rival battle. As I said, I don't believe Misty is going to be that difficult. She sends out Staryu, I swap my moves around and go for Twin Needle. I didn't think Twin Needle would take the Staryu out, but as a matter of fact, it does one-shot the Staryu. Out comes Starmie. We go for Twin Needle, but surprise, surprise, Starmie outspeeds us and hits us with a Water Pulse, but we tank the Water Pulse fairly decent, only doing 18 damage. Twin Needle, however, is not enough to one-shot the Starmie, leaving it on a sliver of health, so of course the next turn Misty's going to use a potion. I go for Fury Attack. I should have just used Twin Needle, but I thought the Super Potion would heal it fully. We get a 2-turn Fury Attack. Next turn, Starmie goes for Swift, which is random. That did less damage than the Water Pulse. And a Twin Needle takes out the Starmie, winning us the second gym badge. After some travel, we land on the SSN in Vermilion. I make sure to pick up the TM for Brick Break. I know it's not super effective against Pidgeotto, but it is neutral damage because of its normal flying type, and it does almost one-shot the Pidgeotto. It does annoyingly get off a Sand Attack. We break through the -1 to KO the Pidgeotto. Out comes Kadabra, and Kadabra, we just have to hit it with Twin Needle. It does get a critical hit to knock it out with 1 Twin Needle, but the double up would have been enough to take out the Kadabra, regardless. Out next is Algo's Scary Charmeleon. We go for Brick Break, and Brick Break surprisingly does a lot of damage. Charmeleon decides to go for Smokescreen, so we're now at -2 accuracy, and we fire off a Brick Break despite that to knock out the Charmeleon, and once again we are going into the Raticate battle with full health. It's pretty crazy. It's gonna get harder, I promise. Raticate comes out, and we manage to fire off a Brick Break through the -2 accuracy drop and one-shot it, beating our rival with full health. Surge is not a battle that I've been worried about this entire time. As a matter of fact, we actually outspeed the Voltorb and hit it with a very strong Twin Needle down to red health. We get hit with a Screech in retaliation. Surge then goes for a Super Potion, fully healing the Voltorb. I go for Fury Attack, which gets off a 3-turn attack, knocking this to about half health, and then a Twin Needle is enough to finish off the Voltorb. Out comes Pikachu, and we straight up outspeed this thing and knock it out with a Twin Needle. Next up for Surge is his trusty Raichu, who hits us with a nasty quick attack, that Screech defense drop, giving it 23 damage. We hit it with a Twin Needle, and the second Twin Needle crits to knock out the Raichu, so none of it mattered. We win the 3rd gym badge. I've had a Meowth on the team since we got to Route 5, but this is the part of the game where we're going to really talk about what we need to do with TM10. There's no way we can win this run without some kind of hidden power, and looking at our weaknesses in-game, we have Rock, we have Flying, we have Fire, and we have Psychic. Against Psychic-type Pokemon, we have a super effective move in Twin Needle, and for the Rock types, we have Brick Break. So Flying and Fire are the only unanswered super effective moves against us, and for that, we can use Hidden Power Ground, Hidden Power Rock, or Hidden Power Water for the Fire types. Flying types we're only going to have to deal with when we get to Lance, his Dragonite, and his Aerodactyl. They are very scary, but I'm not as worried about them as I am the Blaine battle. Now, if Vespid could learn Rain Dance, I think Hidden Power Water would be a viable option, but we can't learn Rain Dance. The other thing with Hidden Power Water is it is a special type move. If you want to know what the special types are in Generation 3, think of the evolutions. Dragon type is the only type that doesn't follow this pattern. It is special, but all of the evolution types are special as well. Fire, water, electric, psychic, dark, grass, ice. Little tidbit of knowledge there for you. So I don't think Hidden Power Water is a viable solution going forward. In Hidden Power Ground, if we learn that, it's not super effective into flying types. Obviously, it takes no damage, so we might as well go Hidden Power Rock. The other nice thing about Hidden Power Rock is we have a fairly high attack, and with 250 EVs invested into our attack, I think we're going to be able to do some good damage. That takes care of our fire and flying weakness. This doesn't win us the run, but it is a path forward. However, Blaine has two Pokemon that like to use Intimidate, both his Growlithe and Arcanine. I know that I can get past the Pokemon with one Intimidate. I don't think I can do it with two Intimidates. So what can we do? We're going to have our Hidden Power Rock. We're going to have a very strong attack. The only thing that I think we can do is get the White Herb. It's not an item that can be found in Fire Red or Leaf Green, but in Pokemon Emerald, you get one from the lady outside of the flower shop south of Rustboro, after you talk to the lady inside wanting you to spread berries around the world. The other way that you can get it is steal it from Flannery's Torkoal. And there is a renewable method with the pickup ability. If you're between the levels of 41 and 60, there is a very rare chance that you can get a White Herb. It's very rare from 41 to 50, and from 51 to 60, it's just a rare chance. So those are items that you can get. I believe it's very common to get one in like Ruby and Sapphire, but nonetheless, we can trade one over to our game here, and I think that's our strategy for Blaine in a nutshell. However, I don't want to teach Hidden Power just yet. I'm still mulling this over and trying to figure it out. I just wanted to share with you guys my thought process for the upcoming battles. Just outside of Rock Tunnel, there's actually another Cherry Berry and Person Berry, so I do have another Cherry Berry equipped. I did use the one that I had equipped during the Surge fight because I wasn't paying attention. Against the Victory Bell, we're not going to one-shot it with Aerial Ace, and it does get off its Stun Spore, but here is that Cherry Berry to heal off the Paralysis. We get off one more Aerial Ace to KO the Victory Bell. Next up is Tangela, and I go for Aerial Ace. I should have gone for Twin Needle. Tangela is the only pure grass type in Gen 1. I think we could have one-shot it with Twin Needle. It gets off an Ingrain and does a little bit of healing up, and we hit it with a Twin Needle to knock it out. Last but not least is Erica's trusty Vileplume. Same thing here, we go for Aerial Ace and we don't knock it out. We take it deep into the yellow. It misses its Stun Spore, so we take it out with a follow-up Aerial Ace. We're in the Pokemon Tower taking on our rival. We hit a Brick Break against the Pidgeotto, taking it deep into the red health once again, and we finally get hit with Gust. It does a decent amount of damage. We take out the Pidgeotto with a follow-up Aerial Ace. Out comes Execute, and I go for Aerial Ace against it. I should have used Twin Needle. Twin Needle's double super effective. Psychic Grass. But we do one-shot it with an Aerial Ace. Out comes Kadabra. We go for Twin Needle, we outspeed it, and we one-shot the Kadabra. Out comes Charmeleon. I just go for Aerial Ace against this thing, and it does well over half health. It does finally hit us with an Ember down to 44 HP. A follow-up Aerial Ace takes out the Charmeleon, and last but not least for our rival is his Gyarados, who gets off an Intimidate. I go for Aerial Ace and straight up one-shot this thing with a crit because Vespid isn't playing. In each Snorlax location, there is a leftover held item, but here on Route 12, you can head towards Route 11 into this guard shack, go to the second floor, and there is Professor Oak's aid here. And if you have caught 30 Pokemon, which we have, spent a lot of time doing it, he will give you an item finder. The item finder is the only way to get the leftover items that are sitting under the Snorlax locations. You can use the item finder to go back to the top of Pokemon Tower, and if you use it where Fuji was sitting, you can get the Soothe Bell. If you talk to Giovanni in his gym after you beat him, he will leave, and where he was sitting, there'll be a Macho Brace. Little quippets about FireRed that I know, but nonetheless, if you use the item finder right where the Snorlax was sitting, it will give you the leftovers, and there is no way to do this without the item finder. Normally this is where I go battle the rival in Sylph, but I need as much experience as I can and be at the highest level possible. Koga's not going to be a problem here, even though we're a couple levels lower. It's just going to be an annoying fight. Coughing doesn't quite take half damage from Aerial Ace, and we get hit with a very weak Sludge. A return is enough to finish out the coughing. Out comes Muck, and we heal up with leftovers to full health. I decide to go for return to see how much damage that will actually do, and it doesn't quite do half. Muck then goes for minimize, as I knew it would, but luckily for us we have Aerial Ace, so we hit it with Aerial Ace, and that does just about a quarter left of his health. He hits us with a fairly weak Sludge, and another Aerial Ace is enough to take it out. So far, this battle's going pretty good. Out comes the next coughing. We hit it with a return instead of an Aerial Ace first to put it deep into the yellow. We get hit with a Sludge. We do heal up a little bit with our leftovers as these turns go, and we're going to knock this thing out with an Aerial Ace. But I wish I would have taught Protect so that we could gain even more experience back. We could have went into the Wheezing battle with almost full health. However, all of these moves that I have, I don't want to lose for Protect. Wheezing comes out, and this is where the battle gets annoying. Wheezing is fairly bulky, and we don't hit it very hard. When we fire off our first return, it is enough to do just under a third of Wheezing's health. We do resist the sludges, so we get hit with a fairly weak sludge, but I am worried about explosion, or self-destruct, whichever one Wheezing has. We hit it with another return down to almost a third health. We get hit with a fairly weak sludge. I was debating to go Aerial Ace maybe a couple of times, but it just wasn't in the cards. I go for another return, and that takes him down to a sliver of red health. We get hit with a sludge, and of course, Koga then goes for a hyper potion. I do hit an Aerial Ace, thinking it would do minimal damage, but it doesn't. We hit it with a return on the next turn down to half. We get hit with a sludge. We go for Aerial Ace again, but that puts him into red health. We get hit with another sludge, and Koga uses his last hyper potion. We hit it with return, back to back, down to about a third health. We do get hit with a smokescreen, which is annoying. We are healing up, but slowly losing damage. We're not out healing the damage done. I do switch to Aerial Ace because of the smokescreen. We get hit with one more sludge, and a final Aerial Ace does win us the battle here, getting us to the Sylph battle. That's where I'm going next. The Sylph rival battle scares me to no end. He has fully evolved Pokemon like Pidgeot, and it is at this point that I have to use Hidden Power Rock. Hidden Power Rock is my only hope. However, it doesn't quite KO the Pidgeot, so we do get hit with a wing attack to almost half health. Wow. I thought the Hidden Power Rock would help us tremendously in this battle. We'll see. We do take the Pidgeot out with a follow-up Aerial Ace, which is very nice. Out comes Execute. Execute, I haven't learned my lesson here with Twin Needle being more effective. However, a critical hit Aerial Ace does one-shot the Execute. Out comes Alakazam next, and our rival has fully evolved Pokemon. This is where things get scary. However, we do outspeed the Alakazam and take it out with a single Twin Needle. Next up is his Charizard, and this is what scares me the most. I know that I cannot survive a single flamethrower from this Pokemon, even at full health. This is why we needed the hidden power for Rock, because it is 4 times super effective, and I know some of you might be thinking, why didn't you just give him a different starter? Oh, we one-shot. Because giving him a Pokemon that's 4 times weak to hidden power is kind of cheeky. Look, I'm trying to beat this with a BEEDRILL, okay? Keep that in mind. Last up for our rival is a Gyarados, who gets off his Intimidate. We get off a Hidden Power Rock, which does a fairly decent chunk of his health, well over half. Gyarados decides to go for Leer, so a final Hidden Power wins us the Sylph rival battle. This was a scary battle nonetheless, but we did walk away. Nice. Going into Sabrina's gym, I'm a little bit nervous. If we outspeed the Pokemon, we win. That's the rules. We go for Twin Needle, we outspeed. That means we beat the Kadabra. Nice. We are going to level up to level 44. I did plan this out on purpose. I think at level 44 with the speed EVs that we have, it's a speed tie with Alakazam. We might just outspeed it. We go for Twin Needle against the Mr. Mime and outspeed it, so we manage to one-shot it. And out next is Alakazam. This is the thing that I am scared the most about. We click Twin Needle and we manage to outspeed it, so that means we are going to one-shot the Alakazam with Twin Needle. Whew. We still have Venomoth to deal with, but we have Hidden Power Rock. This thing is a bug poison type, so we have a super effective move into it. I'm not really scared of it. It can hit with Psychic, but we one-shot it with Hidden Power. Blaine, we need a couple of things to happen. The first is luck. I did talk about getting a white herb previously, and that is exactly what we have to do here. I cannot tank 2 Intimidates from both of these Pokemon and survive. So the white herb cures off the first Intimidate, and we fire off a Hidden Power Rock against the Growlithe, and we one-shot it. Out comes Ponyta, and the same thing happens. We fire off a Hidden Power, and we manage to one-shot the Ponyta. I desperately needed this white herb traded over from Pokemon Emerald because Rapidash comes out next, and surprisingly our Hidden Power is just enough to one-shot it. With the Intimidate drop, it would have been a 2-shot no matter what we did. As Arcanine comes out and gets off an Intimidate, this is where the other thing needs to happen. I need a Fire Blast to miss. I think I might be able to tank one, but if we have a miss, it's even better. We hit it with a Hidden Power Rock for just over half damage, and Fire Blast misses, so we win. Bye-bye, Blaine. Oh man, that's bittersweet, because Blaine is by far the gym leader I was scared the most of. For Giovanni's gym, as I said, I need the Rhyhorns to cooperate and not hit me with Rock Tomb or not hit me with Scary Face. The first Rhyhorn comes out and we crit it with a Brick Break to one-shot it. That's awesome. Surprisingly, Giovanni sends out his other Rhyhorn next. We go for Brick Break. It does well over half damage, and Rhyhorn misses a Scary Face. That is perfect. We've won. We have won at this point. Another Brick Break takes out the Rhyhorn, and out comes Dugtrio. Because we're not slower, or we didn't have our speed lowered, we actually outspeed the Dugtrio and go for Return. Return is enough to one-shot the Dugtrio. Had we been outsped there, we would have been hit with Earthquake for a tick of damage. Nidoqueen comes out, and we use Return for well over half. We get hit with an Earthquake. That does a decent amount of damage, but we tank it fairly well, especially with a little leftovers recovery, and a second Return takes out the Nidoqueen. Again, we would have been hit with 3 Earthquakes at this point. We could have made it to the Nidoking, but the Nidoking would have taken us out. Nidoking comes out, and it is the same exact battle. We hit it for Return for well over half. It hits us with a very strong Earthquake, down to 60 HP before leftovers recovery. After that, we fire off another Return, knocking out the Nidoking. There you go. That is 8 gym badges in the bag. Level 60 is the level cap for the Elite Four, and I went and leveled up to level 58 so that we didn't get to level 60 after beating our rival, but we have the level advantage so that we can one-shot the Pidgeot with a Hidden Power. By the time we finish these battles, we won't quite be level 60, and that is just in case I run into anything in the Victory Road. We outspeed and one-shot the Alakazam with a Twin Needle. I'm not expecting to run into anything in Victory Road. There is no mandatory trainers, but you just never know. And I would hate to lose this run to an overlevel. Out comes Rhyhorn, and we fire off a Brick Break, which happens to be just enough for a one-shot, so down goes Rhyhorn. Out next is Charizard. Again, we have a severe level advantage over this Pokemon, so we hit a Hidden Power, and we one-shot it. Nice. Out comes Gyarados. The Intimidate does matter. We go for Hidden Power against the Gyarados as we did before. It does about the same as it did last battle. And Gyarados does exactly what it did and hits us with a Leer. A second hidden power is enough to take out the Gyarados, and last up is Execute. This is where I learned my lesson. We do an Aerial Ace against Execute and we don't one-shot it. We don't get hit with the Stun Spore, which is really nice, so we take out the Execute, but this is where, again, I realize Twin Needle is going to be a better move. We did grab that last little bit for a level to level 60. Going into the Elite Four, we've got some decent movesets here. We have the Leftovers held item. We did get close to level 61, but that's not a huge issue. Our moves are Brick Break, Aerial Ace, Twin Needle, and Hidden Power Rock. I do have some TMs on my person just in case we want to change up our strategy. I have things like Toxic and Hidden Power and Double Team. Those are options. I'm not too nervous about the first two Elite Four members. We have Brick Break and Hidden Power Rock for Lorelei's Ice types, and we have Brick Break and Aerial Ace for Bruno. Agatha is just annoying. It's a lottery if we win or lose. I think we're going to be able to beat her, but Lance is where things get scary because of the moves that we have here and what we can possibly do. I'm nervous, but we have made it this far with a BEEDRILL. That is a feat in and of itself, correct? I think so. BEEDRILL, you've made it to the Elite Four. How do you feel? What strategies can we expect? Do you think any of these members will be a challenge? Our hearts go out. We wish you the best of luck. Lorelei is not the trainer that I am worried about. As I said before, we have Brick Break and Hidden Power Rock. Brick Break does a little bit more damage than our Hidden Power, so I go for that against the Dugong, and it does a lot of damage deep into the yellow. We do get hit with a Stab Surf, down to 127 HP. That's not bad. We tank that fairly well despite our low defenses. A second Brick Break is enough to knock out the Dugong, and out comes Slowbro. Slowbro's pretty bulky, but it is a Psychic type, so I hit it with Twin Needle. And here is where Slowbro's bulk is shown because we take it deep into the yellow. However, we do get the poison from Twin Needle. This is the first time any Pokemon has survived. Slowbro goes for Amnesia. Poison saps its health low. So on the next turn, Lorelei decides to go for a full restore. I use Twin Needle to bring Slowbro back into low yellow health, and because of all the healing and stalling that Lorelei has done, Leftovers managed to heal me all the way to full health as a Twin Needle takes out the Slowbro. Next up is Cloyster. Cloyster is pretty physically bulky. We hit it with a Brick Break and it does just over half, which is pretty good. Cloyster decides to set up spikes, and then after that, Cloyster decides to be a little annoying, trying to delay the inevitable with a Protect, and even a Protect on a second turn. We do eventually break through with Brick Break to knock the Cloyster out. Next up is Jinx. I decided to go for Brick Break against this thing. I should have used Twin Needle. Jinx, though, however, misses a lovely kiss. Lorelei goes for her second full restore. We hit Jinx with a Brick Break, down to deep in the red health once again, and a follow-up Brick Break KOs the Jinx, leaving us at full health for the Lapras. Lapras comes out and we hit it with Brick Break for well over half damage. Lapras gets off a Confuse Ray. That is slightly annoying. Lapras has a Citrus Berry which pulls it out of the yellow health. I'm a little nervous. We are confused. We break through the confusion, fire off a Brick Break, and it is just enough to knock out the Lapras, winning us the first Elite Four battle. Bruno, again, I am not too worried about. Against his lead Onix, we fire off a Brick Break which takes it deep into the yellow health. It manages to connect with a Rock Tomb which we tank fairly well. But the annoying part is the -1 speed. However, on the next turn, we still manage to outspeed the Onix and take it out with a follow-up Brick Break. Out comes Hitmonchan. We actually outspeed the Hitmonchan and take it out with an Aerial Ace. I'm not sure if that critical hit mattered, but we one-shot the Hitmonchan, bringing out Machamp. We hit Machamp with a fairly strong Aerial Ace down to over half health. It hits us with a Scary Face down to -3 speed. That is annoying. The Citrus Berry pulls Machamp out of the low health back up to just over half health. I'm having a little bit of flashbacks to the Lorelei battle, and I am a little nervous that Aerial Ace won't KO, so I switch it up for Twin Needle. Machamp, of course, does outspeed us and hit us with a Cross Chop. Twin Needle does exactly what I wanted it to do and sap this thing back down to below half health to where Aerial Ace will knock it out. Machamp fires off another Cross Chop that does minimal damage. A follow-up Aerial Ace is enough to knock out the Machamp, and it was a crit. That didn't matter. Out next is Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee outspeeds us and misses a Mega Kick, which is nice. We straight up one-shot this thing with an Aerial Ace. Beautiful. Out comes the last Onix, who outspeeds us and hits us with an Earthquake. Fairly strong, but still not enough. A Brick Break, of course, is not enough to take this thing out. It does well over half, just like the first one. We get hit with another fairly strong Earthquake down to yellow health, but a follow-up Brick Break wins us the second Elite Four battle. Next up is Agatha, and once again, she can be a lottery. Confuse, Sleep, it's all annoying. I decide to go for Hidden Power against her first Gengar, which we outspeed, and Hidden Power does a decent amount, well over half. We get hit with a Shadow Punch. Not too bad. We tank it fairly well. A follow-up Hidden Power is enough to KO the Gengar. Out comes Golbat, and I go for Hidden Power against the Golbat, and surprisingly, it doesn't one-shot. I'm baffled by that. We get hit with a Confuse Ray, which is annoying. Agatha then goes for a full restore, and we just hurt ourselves in confusion. We hurt ourselves in confusion the next turn again, and we get lucky with an Air Cutter miss. We snap out of confusion to hit a Hidden Power against the Golbat, and this time it one-shots with a crit. Nice. Out comes Haunter. Haunter's going to go down the same way as the first Gengar. We hit it with a Hidden Power. Does a significant amount of damage. We get lucky with a Hypnosis miss, so we take it out with an Aerial Ace. Out next is her more bulky Gengar. It does outspeed us, but it misses a Hypnosis, and we hit it with an Aerial Ace. I'm going for Aerial Ace because I'm worried about the Citrus Berry and Full Restore combination. It hits us with a Hypnosis on the next turn, and we stay asleep. Gengar then goes for Nightmare, which is annoying because it saps a quarter of your health, but we wake up. So no more Nightmare, and we hit it with an Aerial Ace deep into the yellow health. It heals up some HP with a Citrus Berry. There is a Hypnosis miss, so a Hidden Power is enough to KO the Gengar, putting us to Arbok with full health. Insane. The Intimidate from Arbok is annoying because now our Hidden Powers do minimal damage. About a quarter of its health. Iron Tail does a significant amount of damage to us, and hopefully we don't get a bunch of defense drops. We hit it with another Hidden Power, and it just goes for Screech. Random. We hit it with another Hidden Power to what I believe a quarter of health left, and it hits us with another Screech. However, there is one more full restore in the gas tank, so Agatha goes for a full restore. That's annoying because we are at -4 defense. We hit it with a Hidden Power that crits, bringing it right back to the red health it was just on. Agatha has no more full restores, so a follow-up Hidden Power wins us the battle, and we're back to almost full health. Lance leads with his Gyarados that has Intimidate, and I completely forgot about the Intimidate. That attack drop is going to make it to where Hidden Power doesn't quite do half on Gyarados. It fires off a Dragon Rage for a cool 40 damage, which is nice. We go for Aerial Ace so that we don't put this thing in healing range. It hits us with another Dragon Rage. I say it's nice, but that is the best case scenario. We take this thing out with another Hidden Power. Out comes Dragonite, and after leftover We have 124 HP. We fire off a hidden power that does just over a third of its health. From 124 HP, Dragonite fires off a wing attack that cleanly one-shots us. Because of my forgetfulness of the Intimidate, we wipe to the Elite Four member, Lance. I've made it this far with a BEEDRILL. You guys do not know how defeating this is. I lost 3 more times to Lance and 1 more time to Agatha. I could use my rare candies and just level my Pokemon up and be over leveled, but I don't want to do that. I want to try to do this at the levels that we are. So the option for soaking up the Intimidate from Gyarados, I could use the Wide Herb or bring a Pokemon from the box. Pidgey's going to soak up the Intimidate and get immediately knocked out, and that is going to bring Vespid in. I had to do it this way because there is no way I can beat this battle without the leftovers held item. This is a BEEDRILL only run, but again, we're beating it with a BEEDRILL for those in the back. Hidden Power does well over half damage to Gyarados because of no Intimidate drop, and Gyarados fires off a Dragon Rage. I don't know what Intimidate does. Some say it's 20%, some say it's quarter. I don't know how much it actually lowers my attack, but that is a significant difference. Hidden Power on the follow-up knocks out the Gyarados, bringing out Lance's Dragonite. We fire off a Hidden Power against the Dragonite, and it does well over half damage. And Dragonite just goes for Safeguard. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Citrus Berry heals Dragonite up to over half health. We fire off another Hidden Power, and with the help of a critical hit, we knock out the Dragonite. Aerodactyl is fast and faster than us. It connects with a very strong wing attack for well over half damage. If that had critted, we would have been one shot, but we tank it and fire off a Hidden Power and get a critical hit of our own, knocking out the Aerodactyl. That is best case scenario, because we would not have tanked another wing attack. Out comes one of Lance's 2 Dragonairs. One of them has Thunder Wave. I don't know if it's this one. We fire off a Hidden Power for over half damage and get hit with a Dragon Rage for a cool 40 damage. After the heal up, we're at 66 HP, and a final Hidden Power takes out the first Dragonair. Last up is Lance's other Dragonair. This one is the one that has Thunder Wave. We fire off a Hidden Power for, again, just over half health, and we get hit with Thunder Wave. Annoying. Dragonair, instead of attacking us, just goes for Safeguard. We break through Paralysis and hit a Hidden Power to knock out the Dragonair, getting us to the champion for the first time. Attempt 17, let's go. I'm not very over-leveled for this battle. That is very concerning, but I want to see if Vespid can do this. I fire off a Hidden Power, and just like in previous battles, it is not enough to one-shot the Pidgeot. The Pidgeot retaliates with a very strong Aerial Ace for well over half of my health. We do outspeed and take it out with a follow-up Hidden Power. Nice. Out next is Alakazam, and surprisingly, Alakazam outspeeds us to get off a Future Sight. That is the first time we've been outsped by an Alakazam. Twin Needle is enough to knock out the Alakazam, however. Out comes Rhydon. I go for Brick Break against it, and it doesn't quite do half. It just whiffs a Rock Tomb, which is perfect. I go for Brick Break on the next turn and must have gotten a higher range because we knock out the Rhydon, bringing out Charizard. When the Charizard comes out, Vespid tanks the Future Sight attack down to 91 HP. Charizard outspeeds us but misses a Fire Blast, so a Hidden Power Rock one-shots the Charizard. Oh my goodness, we could very easily have lost this battle. Executor comes out and we have learned our lesson. We go for Twin Needle against it, and as I suspected, it is enough for a one-shot. Last but not least is Gyarados, who hits us with that annoying Intimidate. I go for Hidden Power against the Gyarados, and it doesn't quite do half. We get hit with a cool 40 damage from Dragon Rage. We go for another Hidden Power, which drops Gyarados deep into the yellow health, and we get hit with Thrash. Down to 4 HP. We barely tank it. Leftovers heals us up just a little bit. We fire off a final hidden power, knocking out the Gyarados, winning us attempt number 17, and winning the run. I cannot believe we did this with a freaking BEEDRILL. Oh, if this doesn't get me views and likes and comments, I don't know what will. This run was extremely fun. We had to do a lot of thinking and a lot of strategizing for these battles. Playing around the experience gained, playing around the levels, figuring out which way we wanted to go. Again, FireRed is an extremely easy game. If you can beat it with a BEEDRILL at hard level caps, it's an easy run. We did have to bring in another Pokemon for the Lance battle, but I didn't know what else to do. Nobody's going to attempt this run. I'm the only one that's silly enough and frankly stupid enough to do this run. So never mind the Pidgey that you will see come across your screen. Vespid is the true hero. It is what it is. I don't ever want to attempt a run like this again. Nope. That was a lot of fun. But painstakingly long. You guys don't know how long that actually took. Because we wiped 4 times, I had to get back to the Elite Four, and all you guys saw was getting there. Nonetheless, we won this run. I could have used some other strats like Protect and Toxic Stalls, but I didn't want to get rid of any of my moves. Aerial Ace was about the only TM that we could forget. To learn another one, I needed Twin Needle, Brick Break, and Hidden Power all the way to the end. This is awesome. I can't believe we actually did this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Again, BEEDRILL is not a Pokemon you would think could make it all the way through with hard level caps and Nuzlocke rules, but we did. Leftovers held item is great. The White Herb was also great in one single battle. And this is our last run in FireRed for a little while. I think we're going to jump over to a Gen 4 game and do a monotype run from there, so stay tuned for that. It may actually come out late. The day that hopefully this video comes out is the weekend and Saturday. The follow-up weekend, I'll actually be working the entire weekend, some rolling 12-hour shifts, so I don't think we'll be able to get the video out on time, but I will do my best. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the routine. I will see you on the next one.